everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Mavens of Manufacturing, the video broadcast series that features the powerful women from the shop floor to the C-suite who are changing the world through engineering and manufacturing. Today, I have Melissa Ahmed, Managing Director for Techwuman. Welcome, Melissa, and thank you for joining me today. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I know that you're across the pond from the United States, so it's really excited to have you here and have our schedules aligned. My first question is really just to get a brief background about who you are and how you made your way through engineering and manufacturing.
Yeah, of course. So I'm the co-founder and the Managing Director of Techwuman. How did I get into engineering? So I never knew what I wanted to be growing up. I knew what I liked, which was art, science, and being creative. But I didn't really know of a suitable career which encompassed all of those subjects. I'm a really practical person, and I have to experience something to know whether I like it or not. And I was really lucky to have my parents' support, and they got me different work placements in industries related to science and art. So I went to a pathology lab, I worked at a graphic design company, in a hospital surgery theatre, and I realised that these weren't for me. And it was really beneficial because unless you actually go and do it, sometimes you don't know if you're going to like it or not. So it wasn't until I explored engineering at a civil engineering company and further down the line at Heathrow Airport in London that I realised that I wanted to be an engineer, and that there are so many different types of careers in engineering to explore. So I ended up studying aeronautical engineering as my degree, which I found really interesting, but I found my passion in design engineering when I took an industrial placement year at a security manufacturing company. And I was in the R&D department. I got to use SolidWorks to design and develop products. And I loved being able to see the whole design process from start to finish, as the company had a factory. So I would design something and then be able to get it manufactured and then analyze what I've designed. Since I found design engineering, I've completed a master's in security design, as well as becoming a chartered engineer. But throughout all of this, I always noticed the lack of females, starting from my degree all the way up to working life. And I've wanted to actively promote females into engineering to help improve gender equality in the industry. It's something that I'm really, really passionate about. And that's how Techwuman was formed, because we're able to dedicate our time to promote STEM and promote females in engineering, as well as doing the job that I love, which is design engineering.
So I really like the name of Techwuman, your company. I like the spelling of it. I'm a writer, so I get really excited with wordplay and stuff. And I'm curious, what you mentioned that you're really a big advocate to get women in engineering and manufacturing. So was that one of your main inspirations for founding Techwuman? And the second part of that question, what are some of your additional objectives outside of, advocating for women and some of the things that you're doing as a company?
So Techwuman is a engineering consultancy. We specialise in design engineering for the physical security of critical national infrastructure. So our core business is offering design engineering services, with the focus being physical security products for water, gas, and other critical infrastructure. So these are installed to protect critical assets. And they could be doors, buildings, vents, cages, that kind of thing. We also offer 2D and 3D design services, manufacturing packs, 3D modelling, simulation work. But as you can tell from our name, Techwuman, our mission is to empower women in engineering to improve gender parity in the industry. So the main way we do this is to promote STEM, science, technology, engineering and maths, by delivering STEM activity days in schools to inspire the younger generation to take up careers in industries that they may not have considered before. So our STEM activities days run for a complete school day. They involve fun, filled practical activities based around the STEM subjects and the concepts. And we've been delivering these to over 2,500 pupils now in the last 2 years. It's so much fun because...
Now, is that within just London, and like where else do you do that?
So that's all around the UK. So we've done it in London, we've done it in Wales, we've done it in Manchester. So it's all around the UK, and we have a pool of ambassadors that who've come on board as Techwuman STEM ambassadors. So the children actually get to meet real life engineers, nurses. There are so many different careers that our ambassadors have. They're from 18 all the way up to 65. They are in the different STEM industries. So they get to meet different people, see what different people look like. And what we're trying to do really is to banish the stereotype within the STEM sector, to really inspire the children to see what else there is out there.
That's great. So outside of Techwuman, you're also considered a SolidWorks Champion. So can you tell us what that means and how you got connected with SolidWorks and some of the things that you're doing with SolidWorks? I know that when you first started getting involved in engineering and manufacturing, SolidWorks was one of the tools that you were using in terms of design engineering. So how did you get more connected with them and become a SolidWorks Champion? And can you tell us what that is, what a SolidWorks Champion is?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm a certified SolidWorks professional user, and I was brought on board for the SolidWorks Champions program to really share my knowledge and my passion in design engineering and SolidWorks. The program's fantastic. It brings together members all around the world. So there's just under 500 champions at the moment. And we all have this. It's really nice to be in a network where everyone's got the same passion about something, but we're all in different industries. We're all at different stages of our career as well. And through the Champions program, we've been able to help others who are champions with their career pathways, help them with their CVs, job advice. We also get requests outside of the Champions program to help people achieve SolidWorks certification. So we give them advice on that, and then that's all voluntary. A big thing, a really, really exciting thing that's happening at the moment is that we have partnered with SolidWorks to deliver focused design engineering STEM activity days in the UK. So it's to 100 pupils, and we've got 100 licenses. And really, when you think of SolidWorks, a software like SolidWorks, you only get to experience it when you're at university studying engineering, for example, or actually in industry. When you're working, I only learned it when I started working in the engineering industry. But if I had the opportunity to explore SolidWorks maybe at high school, I would have probably got to design engineering a lot quicker.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, definitely. So what we're doing is we've developed a design engineering STEM activity day to year 9. So that's 13 to 14-year-olds. They get to experience the software, and they get to understand design engineering. They have a design engineering project, but they also get to have access to the SolidWorks Champions. So we've got champions coming on board and helping us deliver these days. If they're in the UK, they actually come into the schools with us. If they're not in the UK, they're virtual. We've got pictures of loads of different champions in different countries. The champions are all in different industries, and what we're trying to show the children is that using SolidWorks, you could be a product designer, or you could be, for example, a design engineer, and showing them the types of products that are designed using SolidWorks and the diversity, really.
That's really cool, because I know that's one of the challenges that some teachers are having at the high school level here in the United States. They are teaching the basic levels of certain processes or different tools, but kids can't really understand like how far they can actually push themselves in a certain career because they don't know what careers are out there. So I think that's fantastic that you're being able to show them all the different opportunities and connecting them to different people and other champions around the world. And my next question is, what's generally the feedback that you get from the students? Like, what are some of the questions that they're asking? What are some of the comments that they're saying after the process? How are they liking the whole journey?
We've got really, really good feedback. It's a fun day because the children get to be creative, be practical, concepts that they've learned in school, for example, forces, circuits. They actually get to use those concepts practically, and we link them to real life scenarios. So when you learn something, they're actually learning, okay, when I learn this in school, this is what I will actually do in real life situations. The head teachers, the teachers all really enjoy it because obviously they have a curriculum that they have to follow. But being an engineering company, we can come in and say, right, these are the projects we're working on. We're going to let you work on something very similar to this. And this is the application of what you can do. So it's always really nice to be able to give that practical aspect of things to the pupils.
Yeah, absolutely. So here, I know you're across the pond, and there's differences between the U.S. and the U.K. But one of the major issues that we're facing, and it sounds like it's actually all over the world, is this manufacturing skills gap. So a lot of manufacturers are having a really hard time finding skilled workers to come in and help make their products, and that can mean a really big crisis if we keep going the way that we're going and not starting to fill some of these positions. I did an event last year back in October where we had someone from our national defense say, if we don't start building up our economic stability through manufacturing, it could be this national crisis. So I was just wondering, is the UK facing a similar issue where you're having a hard time finding the skilled talent to fill these positions? And, what are some of your initiatives or things that you're trying to do other than the STEM days? Because that's a great initiative to get kids excited. Are there other things that you're focusing on to really hone in on that skills gap and trying to get it closed in the UK if it exists?
Yeah, so the situation in the US is very similar to the UK. There isn't enough graduates or school leavers with the right skills or passion to take up a career in engineering. Really, the perception of engineering needs to change for this to improve, maybe showcasing the diversity of the careers, trying to get different people from different backgrounds. There really needs to be more of an understanding of the opportunities available in engineering, and that it is a high level future earning potential which comes in with a career in engineering. Here in the UK, there's an aging workforce, so about 20% are due to retire in 2026, and that's only a couple of years away.
Okay.
But we'll be losing this valuable experience and knowledge that we have. So it'd be prudent not to employ people to transfer that knowledge to. So I think there should be more of a push for CPD, upskilling. But in terms of STEM education, that has the potential to address the UK engineering sector's long-standing skills shortage. This really depends on the educational opportunities presented to young people and then the choices that they make. I think not being able to have a role model, it is a contributory factor, really. I know myself, I struggled to get into engineering because there wasn't a female role model that I could look up to. I could see what they have done and maybe inspire to be like them. And that's how I inspire to be for everyone else who are considering going into an engineering career. I think
that's a great point that you made, because I think that's a general issue across the board, where if a young individual, looks to their outside environment, their external environment, to see, okay, who looks like me and where can I fit in and what are their same passions that I have. And if they don't see that, they're not going to go in that direction. They're going to go somewhere else. I think you made a great point that, I think though, overall, women are like 20 to 30% representation in engineering and manufacturing, which is better than what it used to be, but I think we can push the numbers higher up, definitely.
Definitely. I know that when I started, I went and did a placement year, and that's where I found design engineering. I was the very first female employed in the technical office. And I knew instantly, like, I wanted to help change that. And after me, they did employ more females. And it's kind of changing that mindset and inspiring more females to go into it. And that is through like networking, more promotions directed at females, because sometimes it is hard to employ a female with the right credentials if there aren't any applicants. So the way we do this is then we go into the schools and we try and inspire the females and the males to take up engineering, because there is a shortfall of engineers. We're doing both, really.
Right. So to kind of go off of that direction, with your STEM Day initiatives, and like your name is intentional, I would assume, with Techwuman for your company. You're intending to attract more women through your name, which I think is amazing. And then you have your STEM days. What specifically are you doing, to give that attention to women? Because I don't want to turn this into like, okay, we're going to just pay attention to the women and then forget about the men, because we need everybody involved in engineering and manufacturing. But there are different things I think companies can do to really make women comfortable and excited about, pursuing a career in engineering and manufacturing. So are there specific things within your strategy that you kind of focus on specifically for recruiting and getting the attention of younger girls? Or is there a difference, or are you pretty much doing the same thing across the board?
Yeah, so with the name, so we're trying to show that we want diversity. We want 50% females, 50% males. We have to have both genders there to be able to work efficiently. But with that as well, we don't want to just focus only on females, because we want to give the same opportunities to both genders. So we have a mentoring scheme, which is all voluntary. We take on mentees. I've got about 20 at the moment, all around the world. Majority of them are female, but I do have some males as well. So they're at different stages of their careers, and they may need help with their CV. They may need help with applying for jobs, find the right opportunities, because we are an engineering consultancy company and we have links to industry that we can help students and graduates get into the career that they want to. We can advise them on how to get chartered, for example. It's always very rewarding for me when you are able to help someone find a career that they really enjoy doing. With just a little bit of support, you sometimes don't know how much help you are in someone's life. And we've been able to help so many people. A lot of females go into engineering, and it is really rewarding for me. Like, even when we go into the schools, the main reason for going into the schools is just to promote STEM, so science, technology, engineering, and maths. And for them to actually know what is science, what is engineering, what is being an engineer. And at the end, when we go in at the start of the day, they don't know what STEM stands for, really. They think it's, yeah. But at the end of the day, they can scream to you what it stands for. And then when especially the girls come up to me and say, like, I think I want to be an engineer like you. And then they ask me questions about being an engineer, about what I've done, what I like doing, different parts of my job. It's really, really rewarding.
I think that's really cool. I actually just learned a new acronym. Like, I think that's one thing that's hilarious about engineering and manufacturing. It's filled with all these different acronyms, and sometimes it's hard to keep them straight and in order. But I talked to another SolidWorks champion, Danielle Boyer, and she has a company called the STEAM Connection. And I was like, well, what does that A stand for? What's the A? And she's like, it includes all the arts. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that makes perfect sense. Like, you're marrying, design, because that's a huge part of engineering and manufacturing. So I think it's so wonderful, all of the things that you're doing, especially, in terms of getting women excited about engineering and manufacturing. And one of the things that I like to do here on Mavens is, ask you to ask your biggest ask for our audience. So what would your biggest ask be for our audience who are watching? Like, what do you need help with? Do you need more mentors? Do you need connections with someone? How can our audience help you and Techwuman with your mission?
So we would just love the support of everyone to understand what we're trying to achieve. It is really a passion of the whole Techwuman team. So if you could follow us on social media, if you want to be a STEM ambassador, reach out to us. If you need any advice at all, reach out to us.
For anyone that's listening, make sure you go to techwuman.co.uk. And Melissa's also on LinkedIn. So be sure to message her if you have any questions about what they're doing at Techwuman. It sounds like you're doing amazing things with STEM days. And I think that's something our manufacturers here in the United States can kind of look to copy. Well, not copy, but, look for inspiration to really get the next generation really excited. So I would like to know more information about that as well. So, if you're here in the United States and you're a manufacturer trying to figure out how to get connected with that next generation, reach out to Melissa, because I'm sure she can have some really good conversations with you and really good tips on how to start those STEM days and get the next generation involved. Melissa, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day, especially being across the pond. Is there anything else that you would like to say or any advice to the next generation who might be considering engineering or manufacturing?
So first of all, thank you very much for having me. It has been a pleasure talking to you today. One piece of advice would be just to try and find something that you're really passionate in doing, because then it doesn't become a job. It becomes something that you love doing as well, and it's a career. And there is so much support. You just have to look for it, really. Thank you very much.
And it's global. So being in engineering and manufacturing, it's not just in the UK, it's not just in the United States, it's everywhere. So there's so many opportunities to meet so many wonderful people. So thank you again, Melissa. I really appreciate it. And thank you to all who tuned in on this week's episode of Mavens of Manufacturing. Be sure to tune in again next week for another great episode. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye.